The following sponsors support public television and Hello Paradise.
Grand Residences, a welcome escape from the hustle and bustle of everyday life, with an array of services, amenities, and surprises. Grand Residences in Cancun, Mexico, sponsored in part by Czech Tourism. The heart of Europe, the land of stories. Czech Tourism is a proud sponsor of KVCR.
Los Arboles Hotel, located in the Palm Springs Historic Movie Colony District. Tiled floored rooms, a courtyard pool, jacuzzi, event spaces, and El Mirasol Cocina Mexicana restaurant. LosArbolesHotel.com.
Hi, I'm Joni Ravenna, and we're at the Living Desert, as you can see, and this place is fabulous. It's vast, it's picturesque, and it's amazingly affordable. We've got a spectacular show for you today. In our Desert Cities report, you'll learn something about our desert I'll bet you didn't know. And then it's time for our featured interview.
And then we'll whet your appetite for something really delicious in our Eat, Drink, and Be Merry segment.
And then in our Getaway segment, we're going to go somewhere to get away. So stick around for all of that and a whole lot more on this week's Hello Paradise. The Living Desert, as you can see. And
now let's take a look at our Desert Cities report. Here we are in Rancho Mirage at the Loving All Animals Super Pet Adoption Festival, where the theme is there's no place like a home. And as many as 200, 300 animals are going to find a home over these 2 days. It's a wonderful event and it's a great cause. We're here with Lindy Beege, and I understand that you are the most important woman here, but you're telling me, oh no, that's not true. Everyone says it's all about you.
And that is so untrue. No one person can really do anything that makes much of a difference. It takes lots. And there's hundreds of people here, and they're all heroes. I'm just one of the bunch.
Well, I understand that over the course of 2 days, they can find homes for as many as 200 dogs.
I'd be happy with 200 because there again, it makes room in the shelters for 200 more. So if 200 leave here today, we've really saved 400 lives.
Lindy, tell everyone what inspired this a few years ago. What caused you to do this?
I moved here from Oregon about 20 years ago, and one of the things I ended up doing was going around to all the various shelters, which were absolutely horrible in those days. Now, they're nice now, but 20 years ago, they were terrible. And I've realized that here, people, it wasn't like there was cruel people. They just didn't think about the animals. I really am a firm believer that if people knew better, they'd do better. And once we bring it to light, now we've got beautiful shelters. Now we're working on the fact that instead of killing 57% that go into the shelters, we're going to be a no-kill Coachella Valley.
And we are hearing a happy dog over there. Beautiful, beautiful one.
She just got adopted.
She just got adopted. And Lindy, what about these puppy mills and kennels that are really responsible for giving us all of these animals without homes?
That's the sad part. I am adamantly against puppy mills. I wish, and we're getting there. Society is demanding it, that we're going to start closing. We are starting closing down the puppy mills, and when that happens, it will be a good day.
And the way the public can help is by not paying those big bucks to buy those dogs.
True, the little girl I have with no eyes, she was a breeder. Her eyes were hanging out of her and they kept breeding her. So I mean that's an example of what a puppy mill is. They are a product. They are not a life form. They're a product. So, and as long as people keep buying them, they will keep producing the product.
Well, then that answers my next question. Why you're dressed as a fairy godmother? You're the fairy godmother to all these animals.
No, our whole theme here is there is no place like a home, from the Wizard of Oz. And I'm supposed to be Glinda, a very, very old version of the Good Witch. But I laugh with everybody. I says, hey, if I have to make a fool out of myself to get people to listen to my message, I'm willing.
I like it. His dog Tillman, and you have seen Tillman before on YouTube.
He learned from a Rottweiler that I had that just loved to skateboard and goof around with my son, and this dog right here, Tillman, was just obsessed with it from birth.
And of course you're here because of Natural Balance, right?
Yeah.
Well, you're so cute.
Okay, we're out at Whitewater Park here. Our goal is to have a no-kill Coachella, is to rescue as many animals, foster them, get them adopted, make sure they are spayed, neutered, microchipped, and back out in the community so there will be no kill. Our goal is to have every animal adopted.
Coachella Valley Wild Bird Center. We rescue raptors, wild birds, and we rehabilitate them, whether they've fallen out of the nest, hit a window, hit by a car, poisoned. We heal whatever is wrong with them, and we teach them, the babies, how to fly, how to eat, how to kill, and we re-release them into the wild. We try to re-release them where they were found.
Well, we're about finished here, but it sure was fun. This is Joni Ravenna in Rancho Mirage at the Loving All Animals Super Pet Adoption Festival. Well, here we are at the Watutu Village exhibit, where you'll find a wildly diverse group of wild animals. This African village recreation houses camels, the awesome Amur leopards, rare breeds of goat and sheep, hyenas, you name it. They've even got entertainment. There's African-style storytelling at a little place called Elders Grove. I'll tell you, this is as close as you can get to actually being in Africa, only it isn't overkill. For instance, there's no lip plates or poaching. Now it's time for our featured interview of the day. We talked with good friend Judith Chapman about her favorite country, India.
We first went to India, and I went with St. James, my other half, my life partner. He had been traveling there for many, many years, has lived there, studied there, learned how to cook there. But many years ago, and probably in my college days, I had started studying comparative religions from all over the world, had traveled all over the world even as a child. I mean, I'd seen the Kamakura Buddha at the age of 6, so I'd already had a fascination with this part of the world. So I grew up with it. And then, as fate would have it, I ended up going with someone who was the perfect guide because he had been there, had lived there, and could show me India the way he had seen it 20 years ago, before bottled water was on every street corner and before you did see more and more Westerners there. And so it was such a thrilling experience because I was like a sponge when I went. I was so open to the religions that I might see, the temples that I might see. Having been baptized a Roman Catholic, and having lived all over the world, I went to Mass in all the great cathedrals of the world. I mean, that was what I did. So when I went to India, I had to go to every temple that I could get into. But my fascination drew me there, pulled me there. So I think everybody who goes there expects that or wants that. What I found when I went there was that it seemed the people there were the most non-judgmental. It was the most live and let live country I'd ever been in the world. The Hindu religions, the various sects, the Sikhs, the Buddhists that were there, the Christians that were there, all seemed so in harmony with each other and so at peace. And we had hired a car for several weeks to drive around at that time in northern India. And the traffic is crazy. Elephants and rickshaws and cattle-drawn carts all vying for the same strip of mottled road. And you never see an ugly sign or an ugly word or God knows, a shooting on the street. Everybody is somehow in harmony with each other. Now I know in India they do have a lot of political and religious problems, and those are somewhat synonymous, I think. But those, I think, are the extremists. In my experience, everyone was just so at peace with each other, allowing the existence of other lifestyles, of other religions, and I found that wonderful. But to be in a country where over 90% of the population doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't eat meat, honors all life and spends the better part of their day in prayer and devotion, I think everyone in India is a luminary. And it can be an example to we people in the West who only go to church from 10 to 11 on Sunday morning. Their belief system and their temple is such a way of life from early morning all day long. I mean, you can be going to the market and somebody will be kneeling in front of a temple, washing their feet, kissing the ground, getting ready to go in, oblivious to the fact that there are rickshaws and taxis honking all around them. They have found this place of stillness and quiet in themselves, which I found very humbling. And almost the intimacy of it almost embarrassed me at first. James and I had the good fortune of going into so many people's homes, people that he's known for many years, and going in for dinner, and all of a sudden the children would come in from school and they would go straight to the altar, light incense, say, make their pujas, right in the middle of company. I mean, you don't see this in a Western home. You'd rarely see an altar. We had the good fortune of, we walked by this wonderful house that was under construction, and this guard stopped us and said, you can't go in, you can't go in there. And then the man who was building the house came in, and of course was very eager to show us the house. And the room he had the most pride in was his prayer room. And it had a lowered ceiling, so you had to duck through the door to go, already a sign of humility. Namaste. I salute the God in you. By saluting the God in you, I acknowledge the God in me. And when we all finally accept that we are all God, we are all physical manifestations of God, a lot of the problems go away.
We're here at the Living Desert. This is home to the fastest land mammals on the planet and the oldest mountain lion in captivity, as well as the smallest foxes in the world. And in addition to its many exhibits, there are lots of places to eat here. The Meerkat Cafe, the Thorn Tree Grill, and the Smoke Tree Snack Shop. I don't know about you, but I'm getting hunger pangs just thinking about it.
And now you're going to like this upcoming piece, Eat, Drink, and Be Merry.
Hi, I'm Alex Gomez, and we're here at one of our favorite places in downtown Palm Springs, Sammy G's Tuscan Grill, where you get a little bit of that ambience that comes over from Tuscany, and you get great food. We're going to be talking to our chef Sal here today. Sammy G's boasts a wide array of Tuscan dishes as well as other Italian specialties. We're here with Chef Sal Zavala. Tell us, Chef, what are some of the dishes that people come back for more?
Well, one of the number one dishes the people ask for cioppino. Cioppino is made with mussels, clams, calamari, shrimp, and it's over pasta. So it's one of the number one dishes that the customers ask.
Very great. And Tuscan food, and most Italian food as well, has a great blend of herbs and spices and creamy sauces.
Yes, we have another dish we create like a couple years ago. We call it, actually I call my name, that's chicken salvatore. So it's made with pancetta, that's Italian bacon, touch of cream, touch of brandy, and chicken breast, and topping with artichoke sauce.
Very nice. I did notice that a lot of the foods here also have they have artichoke, they have a lot of chopped olive in it.
Yeah.
What else can people expect when they come here and in terms of the food?
One of the new items in the menu for this season is ahi tuna. It's a nice portion, 8-ounce portion ahi tuna, beautiful ahi tuna, and it's over arugula, and we're topping with balsamic glaze.
Sounds very delicious. Let's go take a look at some of these dishes.
Sure.
So Sammy G's is a real Southern California find. Tell me, what got you interested in Italian food?
Well, since I came to this country, I work with a lot of Italian people. So I get my Italian food #1. So I cook now for customers.
Great.
And
Very
they
great.
enjoy it.
And tell us, what do we have here?
First of all, we have our famous chupino. So it means mussels, clams, calamari, shrimp over pasta linguine.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have our beautiful ahi tuna over wild arugula with the balsamic glaze. And then on this side we have something I invented like couple years ago. We call it chicken salvatore.
And chicken salvatore looks like it has some artichoke in there.
Artichokes, heart, pancetta, garlic, a little touch of cream with a little touch of lemon. So that's what it is, basically.
Very nice. So when you're in the Southern California area and you come to Palm Springs, make sure to look up Sammy G's and enjoy some of this really great food.
Well, here we are at Gecko Gulch. This is one of the newest additions to the Living Desert, and it's an interactive outdoor playground where children of all ages can frolic around. Now let's check this out.
The Living Desert is Palm Desert's renowned wildlife and botanical park. It consists of 1,200 acres with 600 animals and plant and botanical life from around the world.
The Mexican wolf's a very rare animal. They're thought to be extinct in the wild. They haven't been seen in years. A lot of people don't realize just how strong and potentially dangerous zebras can be. They're one of the few hoofstock that have never been domesticated, and that's because a full-grown male zebra is 10 times stronger than a horse, the same size. We have bobcats, and bobcats are indigenous to California and found all throughout North America. Pound for pound, they are the strongest, toughest cat of their size. So a small 10 to 20 pound bobcat can do a lot more damage than even a much, much larger cat.
This is Sonora, our Harris hawk. They come from the desert Southwest. They're found all over Arizona and New Mexico. They're a very important predator in the desert ecosystem, feeding on rodents, small reptiles, and a variety of items. They actually serve a role in nature as controlling the rodent population.
These are the African warthogs. This is one of the finest facilities for African warthogs in the country, and so they have dubbed it the Taj Mahal.
The endangered cheetah and her 3 children also make their home here, and they have a full acre to play on.
It's a thrill to see these cheetahs. Boy, this place is so incredible. It teaches me that our deserts are literally hotbeds of life that find a way to survive no matter how harsh the conditions. Well, we're here in Palm Desert, but it feels like we're at an exotic locale somewhere far away. But now it's time to take a vacation from our vacation and really go somewhere far away on this getaway segment.
Tucson, Arizona is more than just a movie set. It's home to some real-life heroes as well. Originally called Chuckson, meaning water at the base of the mountain, this land was home to the first Native American Indians and the likes of Doc Holliday and Wyatt Earp. And every year, one day is set aside to pay tribute to the city's Old West heritage. The celebration includes a professional rodeo competition with 700 contestants from around the U.S. and Canada.
flying, the only sports in the world developed from actual work skills. What you're watching is what these men do for a job.
I think anybody that had the desire can do any sport. You know, I think a lot of this sport is made out of is mental. You know, I mean, you got to, it's just as much as physical. You know, I mean, I think any sporting athlete would tell you a lot of it's desire and mental preparation. It's something that I'd probably do for nothing if I had to. I really enjoy what I'm doing. Exciting times of the year to be here.
There. Should be right here. All right, this is Billy Joe in Hobbs, New Mexico.
This sure looks like it'd take a lot of strength to rope and ride, but apparently the sport is not reserved just for adults.
Believe it or not, they actually do have an event that's just for kids. It's called Mutton Busted, and it features 4 to 8-year-olds who test their skills on sheep.
That hind leg is bolted down. Oh, there we go. Hold it. Whoops. We both got up. Oh, yeah, help her, Chucky.
As you can see, the Old West truly lives in Tucson, especially in an area they call the town too tough to die.
This is Tombstone, Arizona, just outside of Tucson.
At one time, this town was rich in gold. That gold attracted many an enterprising outlaw to this area, and the result was often bloodshed. Thus the name, Tombstone. Historically, Tucson has been inhabited for more than 1,000 years by the Indians. Unearthed remains of pit houses and adobe huts testify to Indian societies that farmed the area during the 1st century A.D. when it was fed by a river. Before we bid adieu to Tucson, we thought we'd take you on a soft adventure in a 4-wheeled Jeep out in the Sonoran Desert. They say that's the best way to see the desert. So get ready. Get set, it's time for some Jeep thrills.
Yeehaw! Hang on. Yeehaw! See, the rocks are our friends. You always use the rocks, and the rocks will not let you down. That's where you get your prickly pear. A lot of nice prickly pear through here. Prickly pear are probably the most abundant, most common cactus in the world. Those are Mickey Mouse looking weird things. And almost every part, except for the needles and the root system on a prickly pear, is edible.
What kind of animals are we going to find out here?
Well, we have a lot, actually quite a variety of animals in the Sonoran Desert here. We have about 8 different species of rattlesnakes in this area. We also have one venomous lizard called the Gila monster, who is quite an amusing fellow who has absolutely no sense of humor. And we have all sorts of nasty insects. And then we have the large mammals too. Right in this area here we do have a resident mountain lion. And we have 2 kinds of deer, the mule deer and the little desert whitetails that run up and down the mountain. Yeah, this is a bull snake. And bull snakes are quite interesting snakes. We find him a lot out here. He's actually our friend, but he tries to fake this out. He's a good actor. And actually, if we get him mad, he will actually make like he's a rattlesnake. And what he will do is he'll puff up his cheeks, and then he'll hiss, or he'll take his little tail here and rattle it in the bushes and make like a rattle sound. And it actually kind of fools a lot of different animals. Wow, look at here. We find one of our little friends of the desert here. This poor guy, he gets maligned in the movies. This is a little Texas brown spider, or better known as a tarantula. They're actually very nice creatures. Actually, they make very nice pets. They don't bark, they don't scratch the door, they don't drag you out at night to do their little thing. He's got 2 little fangs in the front there, and people who keep him as pets, they put crickets in him. You'll see him, he'll bite the cricket. He'll actually crawl over the top of the cricket and grab him like this, and these 2 fangs will
grab the cricket like this. He's got little eyes on top of his head there, but he can't really see too far because he's actually a nocturnal animal. He might be on a big migration here. One of the things is I don't like to disturb these animals too much. Let them go do what they're going to do. Okay.
Goodbye, little spider.
Yeah, have a good day, as they say. Hopefully he'll find a nice hole somewhere, or maybe he'll find himself a nice lady friend.
Well, that about does it for this week. Remember, the desert is alive and well and living right here at the Living Desert. Until next time, goodbye, paradise.
Joni's hair provided by Heads Up Hair Design, located at 460 South Palm Canyon Drive in Palm Springs. Heads Up is a full-service salon and day spa, located in the heart of downtown Palm Springs.
Grand Residences, a welcome escape from the hustle and bustle of everyday life, with an array of services, amenities, and surprises. Grand Residences in Cancun, Mexico. Sponsored in part by Czech Tourism. The heart of Europe, the land of stories. Czech Tourism is a proud sponsor of KVCR.
The Desert Entertainer proudly supports public television and KVCR.